all of the world's animals, plants, rocks, and so on, as well as all of the characteristics, forces, and processes that occur or exist independently of people, such as the weather, the sea, mountains, the generation of young animals or plants, and growth. Water, H2O, is an inorganic, transparent, tasteless, odorless, and virtually colorless chemical substance that is the primary ingredient of the Earth's hydrosphere and the fluids of all known living creatures, in which it acts as a solvent. Despite the fact that it contains no calories or organic ingredients, it is essential for all known forms of life. Its chemical formula, H2O, shows that each of its molecules includes one oxygen and two hydrogen atoms that are linked together by covalent bonds. The hydrogen atoms are at an angle of 104.45 degrees to the oxygen atom. Water occupies roughly 70.9% of the Earth's surface, primarily in seas and oceans. Small amounts of water exist as groundwater, 1.7%, glaciers and ice caps in Antarctica and Greenland, 1.7%, and in the air as vapor, clouds, composed of ice and liquid water suspended in air, and precipitation, 0.001%. Water travels continuously through the water cycle of evaporation, transpiration, evapotranspiration, condensation, precipitation, and runoff. Eventually reaching the seawater is essential to the global economy. Agriculture consumes around 70% of the fresh water utilized by humans. Trees are all plants, and they all go through the same life cycles. Trees, on the other hand, do not have their own scientific classification. Cone-bearing plants gymnosperms, blooming plants angiosperms, and ferns are all examples of trees. All plant groupings that contain trees are vascular plants. This indicates they have xylem and phloem vascular tissues. Xylem and phloem connect all sections of the plant, carrying water, minerals, and produced food while also providing structural support. Trees are all perennial plants. Many tree species may survive for tens or even hundreds of years. And they outlive most other types of plants. Trees vary from most other plants in the following ways. Trees generally have a wooden stem or trunk that is permanently attached to the tree. Most trees grow to be rather tall, with lateral branches extending some distance from the ground. Most conifers are evergreen, with foliage that persists and remains green throughout the year, or deciduous, shedding their leaves at the end of the growing season and then going dormant. However, larches, larix and pseudolarix, are deciduous, dropping their needles each autumn. And some species of cypress, Glyptostrobus, Metasequoia, and Taxodium, are deciduous. The crown is the spreading top of a tree that includes the branches and leaves, whereas the canopy is the uppermost layer in a forest formed by the crowns of the trees. A sapling is a young tree. The IUCN Red List of Threatened Species includes approximately one-third of all tree species, or around 20,000 species. Over 8,000 of them are globally threatened, with at least 1,400 classified as critically endangered. Animals, also known as metazoa, are multicellular, eukaryotic creatures that belong to the Animalia kingdom. Animals, with a few exceptions, ingest organic material, breathe oxygen, can move, reproduce sexually, and go through an ontogenetic stage during embryonic development in which their body consists of a hollow sphere of cells called the blastula. Over 1.5 million live animal species have been described, with approximately 1 million of those being insects. Although it is believed that there are over 7 million animal species in total. The lengths of animals range from 8.5 micrometers, 0.00033 in, to 33.6 meters, 110 feet. They have complicated interactions with one another and with their surroundings. Resulting in intricate structures, they have complicated relationships with one another and with their surroundings. Resulting in sophisticated food webs. Zoology is the scientific study of animals. Birds are warm-blooded animals with feathers, toothless beaked jaws, hard-shelled eggs, a fast metabolic rate, a four-chambered heart, and a robust yet lightweight skeleton. Birds are found all throughout the world and may range in size from 5.5 centimeters, 2.2 in, bee hummingbirds to 2.8 meters, 9 feet, 2 inches, ostriches. There are around 10,000 extant species, with passerine, or perching, birds accounting for more than half of them. The only known groups of birds without wings are the extinct moa and elephant birds. Wings, which developed from forelimbs, provided birds with the capacity to fly. However, additional evolution may have resulted in a different outcome. Wings, which developed from forelimbs, enabled birds to fly. However, subsequent development has resulted in the loss of flight in certain birds, including ratites, penguins, and a variety of isolated island species. Reptiles, as they are most generally characterized, are members of the Reptilia class, a paraphyletic grouping that includes all amniotes save synapsids, mammals and their extinct ancestors, and aves, birds, turtles, crocodilians, snakes, amphibians, lizards, tuatara, and extinct cousins are included in this class. Birds are classified separately from reptiles under the old Linnaean classification system. Crocodilians, on the other hand, are more closely related to birds than to other extant reptiles. And so contemporary cladistic categorization methods include birds inside Reptilia. Redefining the term as a clade, other cladistic definitions drop the word reptile entirely in favor of the clade Sauropsida, which includes all creatures that are more closely related to contemporary reptiles than to mammals. Herpetology is the study of classical reptile orders, traditionally coupled with contemporary amphibians. Deforestation is the loss of forest areas throughout the world due to other uses such as agricultural croplands, urbanization, or mining operations. Deforestation has had a severe impact on natural ecosystems, biodiversity, and the climate. Chemicals, trash, plastic, and other pollutants are choking our rivers, reservoirs, lakes, and oceans. Water pollution occurs when hazardous substances, most commonly chemicals or microbes, infiltrate a stream, river, lake, ocean, aquifer, or other body of water, deteriorating water quality and making it poisonous to humans or the environment. Water is particularly susceptible to contamination. Water, sometimes known as a universal solvent, has the ability to dissolve more compounds than any other liquid on the planet. It's what gives us Kool-Aid and beautiful blue waterfalls. It is also the reason why water is so readily contaminated. Toxic chemicals from farms, cities, and factories easily dissolve and combine with it, polluting the water. The presence of chemicals in the atmosphere that are hazardous to the health of people and other living creatures, or that cause damage to the climate or materials, is referred to as air pollution. High levels of air pollution can raise the risk of heart attack, wheezing, coughing, and breathing issues, as well as eye, nose, and throat discomfort. Air pollution can also aggravate pre-existing cardiac conditions, asthma, and other lung issues. Weather is sometimes confused with climate. Climate, on the other hand, differs from weather in that it is monitored over a long period of time, whereas weather can fluctuate from day to day or year to year. An area's climate includes seasonal temperature and rainfall averages, as well as wind patterns. Climates differ from location to place. Climate change has also been linked to more frequent and powerful hurricanes, floods, downpours, and winter storms. because of the rising global temperatures caused by climate change. Ice sheets and glaciers are melting at a faster rate from season to season. This contributes to sea level rise in many parts of the world. Along with the expansion of ocean waves caused by rising temperatures, the accompanying rise in sea level has begun to harm coasts through greater floods and erosion. Reducing, reusing, and recycling are all good ways to go. Reduce the amount of waste you generate. Conserve natural resources and landfill space by following the 3 R's. Volunteer. Participate in community cleanups by volunteering. You, too, can help to safeguard your watershed. Educate. You may assist people appreciate the importance and worth of our natural resources by furthering your own education. Water should be conserved. The less water you consume, the less runoff and wastewater end up in the ocean. Shop with caution. Bring a reusable shopping bag and use fewer plastic. Make use of long-lasting light bulbs. Light bulbs that consume less energy minimize greenhouse gas emissions. Also, remember to turn out the lights when you leave the room. Consider planting a tree. Trees give both food and oxygen to the environment. They aid in the conservation of energy, the purification of the air, and the mitigation of climate change. Don't dump chemicals into our bodies of water. In the house and business, use non-toxic substances. Ride your bike more often. Reduce your driving. Environmental protection is the activity of individuals, organizations, and governments protecting the natural environment. Its goals are to protect natural resources and the current natural environment, as well as to repair harm and reverse trends when feasible.